Welcome everyone to the Island Life Podcast, where we journey onto the island of discovery to relive some of the best and worst moments of Survivor. My name is Will, an experienced Survivor fan, 47 seasons deep, and I will be your guide. And joining us on this adventure is our rising Survivor fan with 10 seasons under her belt, and
hello, everybody.
And of course, we also welcome the star of our show. He is the brand new Survivor fan who just finished his second season of the show. I give you Survivor F.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Can't believe I'm there's going to be a point where I'm no longer going to be a new Survivor fan, right? Half a year ago I didn't even know what the word Survivor meant. But now I know.
See, you're still brand new, but we've bumped you up 2 seasons. That gives you 2 seasons, gives you some credibility now. There's 1 season you could have picked like some random season or maybe only season 1, which is ancient history at this point. But now 2 very different seasons as well.
I think relative to you guys, I'll be the eternal understudy, so still a baby, but less of one.
It is my mission to bring you up, both of you, up to the Survivor consultant status, the Survivor analyst, the Survivor I was gonna say know-it-all, just name all the other podcasts.
Ooh, an analyst.
I like it.
You're gonna be the island correspondents. There you go. That's what we call people on this podcast. Island
You hear that,
correspondents.
Ange? We're gonna get new contracts. He's gonna start paying us for this.
I can't wait for that moment. Yes, I can't wait.
And now we're at the end. So we're about to dive deep into everything season 7 Pearl Islands. We now know the winner. If you're here and you somehow have not yet watched, go do that. Watch it all, watch a summary, somehow experience the greatness, at least I think, that was season 7.
Yeah, agreed. It was a good season, good end to the season. It didn't start off that great, but I thought with the way that there were twists and turns along the way, it was unpredictable, but it had a nice end to it.
Yeah, I personally really enjoyed it. I agree. In the beginning, it took a little bit, but I've come to have certain favorites, and I really like them, and I hope they come back in the future whenever we watch a season where they're returning players.
And so
Yeah, for
this is
sure.
your last chance. You had 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And here we go. Let's start off with our winner. We have the great Sandra.
Dun dun dun. Oh, I'm so happy she won. Honestly, I think I'm the most happiest that she won. Out of anybody, I'm glad. Of course, if Ryan Shoulder won, if he shoulder the win, I would be more excited. But Sandra, it was amazing. And you called it too. In multiple episodes, you've called it.
I did have my doubts along the way, like it was becoming less likely, to be honest, as it was going along. The entire case I had initially was, oh, she's the underdog. No one's really talking about her. She's kind of sidelined in the back. That did end up being her, like her make it or break it at the end. And it was just a case of she did all the little things. She, while she wasn't really too competitive in the challenges, she at least was making a good impression on most of the judges and put herself in a position to win more so than the other people who were in the end.
Yeah, this was a very different path to victory than Rachel. But I still end up being pretty impressed. Like really, and this came up at Final Tribal. Losing Rupert should have been the beginning of the end. That was a difficult situation to recover from. And however she did it, she survived long enough where she got to a situation, like we came into the episode, final 4, And I don't know if any of them could have beat Sandra if they were against Sandra at the end.
Yeah, agreed. I it's just tough, right, to predict these things just because, like, it can go one of many ways. Like, if you were to ask me, right, at that point before Rupert got eliminated, I wouldn't even have guessed that the outcasts, both of them would make it towards the end. Like, it's crazy how much they were originally voted out, but then they essentially made it to the very end. The fact that they were able to come back on the island, adapt, and then start essentially taking advantage of the disparity between the other groups, the other, I guess, the teams that they were building, and try to stand above them. They did a really good job, and realistically, they had a chance to win it as well, and I think that speaks volumes. But, I think you had a very good observation in terms of just comparing Sandra's game to Rachel's game, right? Rachel really started dominating towards the end, whereas Sandra all throughout was kinda hidden in the back. She wasn't the immediate target for everyone, and it just goes to show you that there's no just one single way to win in Survivor. You can win through one method, or you could win through this completely different method, and I think the just comparing the 2 seasons that I've watched now, it's given me a sense of the winner could realistically be anyone who is committed to their strategy. You don't necessarily have to be dominant. You just have to have a strategy that takes you to the end game and continue to the key thing is you have to continue to be able to adapt. Your social game especially has to be strong. That's what keeps you in the game and keeps you going. But I think being able to win challenges doesn't necessarily make or break you in this. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree that like challenges, it's interesting because when people see like, oh my gosh, you're so good at challenges, they trying to get rid of that challenge beast. But Sandra was anything but the challenge beast. She was struggling in a lot of challenges. And they even in the beginning, John even's like, if it's water, Sandra, not you, you're not good at it. I love that iconic moment. She just came for him. But it's very interesting to see that. And I don't know, I think it's different. It's different that Rachel, what we previously watched versus, like, Sandra, they're very different, but I do agree there is this, the social game is very important. I feel like that is, like, the most important out of any of them.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game to play, right? Because Sandra doesn't have challenge skills in her back pocket to rely on. It the predictable outcome happened where she did not win the final 3 immunity, and now her fate is in somebody else's hands, and arguably it should have spelled the end for it, but ultimately she gets chosen. That's at least some percentage social game. If it doesn't have to be 100% social game, but some credit goes into that. And then
Yeah.
once you get to the end, anything can happen.
Yeah, it also feels like it is her social game, but it's also the lack of everyone else's. I feel like Sandra
True.
was okay is good, but I won't say she was exceptional, but I think because everyone else was so bad at the lying, the deception, the outwitting, there was no outwit. There was just straight up not telling people, "I'm not gonna work with you," not telling people, giving them the comfort, which is, like, very different to current seasons. It's always like, "If I hear your name, I'm gonna tell you, like, you have my back, I got your back," versus in this season, it's a lot of, like, "I don't know, I can't tell you that, I can't promise you anything, I don't know if you'll be my final 2." It seems like and that has been breaking people's relationships.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised that's come up a lot. Let's get started. So the finale begins, final 4, and one of the first things that happens is Dara and John and Lil are all like lounging in the shelter, and from John's perspective, he just got bamboozled by the dumb girls, as he would put it, and is now in grave danger because if they vote together again, he's got no shot. There's no immunity idols to bail you out of this one. And actually, Ian, even if there were, it's too late. Final 4, there wouldn't be immunity idol anyway. And he decides his best chance is to like like in a cartoon, like stir up trouble, like so and so said. So I think he tells Lil, Dara said that she isn't sure if she's gonna take you. And it works. So Lil's like, is that true, Dara? Is that what you say? And then Dara lets it fall apart. And she's like, well, no, I can't promise that, basically. And we're all watching like, no, what are you doing? Like with only 4 people left, and you tell someone like, I don't know if I'm gonna bring you. That's not great.
It's
We
just
just watched
cringe.
Burton doom himself doing this.
I know. I'm like, Dara, why? Why are you choosing now to be honest? Just tell yes, I'm gonna work with you. I want to be with you. You know, like it'd be great. Like, say anything but what you're saying. Like everything went wrong when she said that. Because Lillian, it was clear to her, like her facial expression was not happy. She does her pout. She does her like, I'm just gonna be stoic, but I'm pouting and I'm gonna walk away. And then that was it. That was it for Dara. And it was so bad how it worked.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't speak for just myself when I say this, but I've said a couple times that I'm surprised John has made it this far. And it's like, this is one of those reasons where he speaks to people and he's able to get through to them in a way that only he can for some reason, despite the fact that most people know that he is manipulative. It's not like it's hidden at this point, especially in the season. So it's very weird that people are able to get manipulated by him despite knowing that he's going to try to get into your head. Like that's his game plan. He very much just wants that villainous role, right? And I remember watching like the first 5 to 10 minutes into the episode, John says something akin to, "I'm the king of men and these are just kind of women." I'm like, "Okay, he's just kind of like gassing himself up. There's no way he's winning. Like there's just no way." Right? Like they're just setting this up to be some sort of like a downfall for him because it's like you can't be that cocky and just come away with it not burning you in some way, shape, or form. So, just with Dara, her not being able to just give some sort of reassurance with Burton, like it's just we're seeing these recurring trends of just simply having dialogue, simply give someone reassurance. I don't know if people are just trying to get cute here and just try to show some level of honesty, but you're playing a game, guys. Like, you're trying to make it to the end. At this point, just let the person hear what they want to hear, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't know what they were doing. I'm not sure, maybe, like, at this time, at season 7, people don't understand the whole concept of trying to lie, like, they're just like, "Let me just be honest, you know, if I'm not gonna work with you, I'm not gonna work with you," but it's like, "No, that's not the way," and it shows, like, Burton got voted off for it, Dara got, like, flamed for it, it just doesn't work, and it's just again, it's so ironic John actually made it so far, like, I wanted him to go. I thought he was gonna be gone, like, very soon, but he ended up sticking by.
I
The
think it
shroom
just shows how. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
it's true. Like somehow John, like with his awful social game on the surface, he is able to manipulate people successfully. And that in of itself does require like social skills. So he does have some social skills, but like the negatives outweigh the positives. But these are positives what he's doing right now.
It just goes to show the difference of how things are viewed if you're a contestant on the island. I'm sure for us, it looks very noticeable on, oh, this person's playing their game and the other person is just not realizing. But I'm sure if you're actually on the island, things could look completely different. There's tensions and there's things that could look much more dire than they actually are, where ultimately you might be missing the bigger picture. And that's why to us as viewers, what seems like such a straightforward out for, oh, John needs to be out at this point, or there's no reason why he should still be in the game here. He's just kind of making some mistakes, but no one's really picking up on it. He's still there because maybe, who knows, people aren't picking up on those mistakes, or they might be, but they see something else as a bigger priority. They see maybe someone's winning a challenge, or they see that someone might be a physical threat, or they see that someone might have a bigger group vote. So they take priority. And that's what
Mm,
the game ends up becoming. You take out the biggest threat. And
yeah, there's always a bigger fish to fry. And
exactly.
I guess, like, John, although he's annoying and terrible and mean, he's not a big enough fish.
Yeah, like last
It,
episode, like Burton is an enormous fish to get. This because this is the era
Yeah.
before
Ugh.
fire making. So the winning a challenge is what sets up the final 2. So it's even more important to get out a challenge threat. So it is true, John is not at all. John is probably worse than Sandra even at challenges. So it's close between them two. So I understand he's not as obvious a target as Burton, but it's just surprising that for, I don't know, like half the season he's been able to get himself out of these situations, like successfully, and put himself in better situations.
And people know he's a liar. Like Sandra said it multiple times. I warned everybody he's a liar. He don't listen to him. And every single time people listen to him. And they always say in their interviews, like, I know John keeps lying and I don't want to trust him. And then they go back to trusting him. I'm like, what is going on right now?
Sandra herself was listening to him
Yes.
for like half her votes.
It
Yep,
hurts.
so
And then it's like, wow, he's becoming a power player. Like, what's going on right now?
yeah, at some point, credit to John. Like, if this happens over and over and over again, then that's a skill.
I don't
But
like
for now, it's surprisingly, there's now tension between Dara and Lillian, and that we bring that drama to immunity, a rare nighttime challenge. And this challenge was called Tribal Draft. It is a very strange one. So the first part of it is trivia. Questions about the history of the island, about the pirates in general, the actual pirate Drake. These questions are gonna be asked, and whoever answers the most is gonna win immunity. Kind of ho hum, but okay. Then the twist on this is that the 5th competitor here is the jury. This is why it's happening at night, because we have to go to tribal councils to do it. The jury as an entire group is going to answer questions as well. And if the jury wins this challenge, then nobody gets individual immunity for this vote. Very strange. What did you guys think?
You want to take a crack at it, Ange? I've got some thoughts.
I thought it was interesting, but it also I felt like it was lackluster personally. I didn't think it was really fun. I didn't think it was interesting for was it Final 4? Final 4, yeah. I just thought it was like, okay, another trivia ask question. We already did that. And I don't know. I also feel like it was fun to see. I personally thought it was fun to see the jury kind of be a part of it, but at the same time, I'm just like, and I personally thought it was lackluster. I wish it was something cooler personally.
Yeah, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I thought this was the worst challenge by far out of anything that we've seen so
Oh.
far.
Yeah, yeah.
It just did not make any sense to me. While having trivia is a nice change of pace, and I'm sure it could be incorporated in a way where you don't necessarily need the jury, the fact that the jury's involved in something that, they don't really gain anything out of it, but then on top of that, it's all members of the jury get to decide whatever their answer is gonna be, so you have 4 or 5 heads in one compared to the other 4 challengers. It's just not even fair, right? Like, it's heavily weighted against the actual contestants who are remaining, so I thought you could have done this without the jury if you were even gonna do it, but to have this be one of the final challenges, I thought it was just very anticlimactic, and it was just very disappointing overall.
Don't you think? Like, remember, so rewind to last season we watched, and we had a long discussion about the pros and cons of the Final Four fire making and how it's unfair, how it is fair. I found myself thinking, this isn't fair to Dora, who is the best challenge competitor. And now they're stuck. Not only is she stuck in trivia, where she cannot use her physical strengths, but she also has to compete against the group of the knowledge tank of all the jury who are not as food deprived and like fluids deprived as the castaways. So it's kind of like a shocker they lose. And if you're a Dara fan, which I don't know, I mean, I don't know how many Dara fans they are, but if you were a Dara fan, it feels like you got screwed over.
Yeah.
Is it a shocker though? Like, just think about it for a second. If you're playing any sort of game, right, and if it's a knowledge-based game, and you're only able to think for yourself, so you either know the answer or you don't. But then whoever you're facing gets to run their idea by 4 or 5 other people. They have a major advantage
Yeah,
because
no,
they
I
can
agree. Yeah,
one of those people is gonna know the answer as opposed to either you know it or you don't. It just
yeah, no, this was a lopsided, and like ultimately it just brings us to, it just gives us a boring outcome because even without
yeah.
like hidden immunity idols, uh, whoever actually wins individual immunity is like, oh, like, is it the person they were gonna vote for? How does this change things? And then we don't get that. So, uh, not a great fan of this. But what actually the actual consequences of this is, by the way, the jury does win. So now nobody's immune. And we do kind of at least have a discussion at Tribal Council. And it kind of comes out that it's either Lil or Dara. And Dara starts getting frustrated, like, why do you think like little old me is a challenge beast? And technically, yes, you don't look like challenge beast, but numbers, you have been beaten, like you're facing 3 people who are not winning challenges. So like out of this group, you probably are the biggest challenge beast. But maybe her argument's like if all of you are like level 1, it's not like I'm like a level 5 competitor. I'm probably like a level 2 compared to your level 1.
But she has the numbers though. Like you said, she may be like, "Oh, I'm just a girl. I can't win." It's like, "Girl, you did win. You won way more than anybody else." So, she is a threat for sure.
I
And
I
just
f
thinking
I
to
felt
the
that though. I
you
definitely
did
felt that. Yeah, like, it came across as, yeah, like, you could see her being voted out for that, but it was more that, like, the others just were not good at challenges rather than she's just really dominant in them.
and to be honest, like for John, he just wants to come up with any reason to vote someone that's not him. And then Sandra probably also. It's kind of a theme for her the entire season. And people have said this about her after the fact, that she's a anybody but me strategy girl. So she's probably fine. Like, all right, like if it's between those two, I don't care. And then Lil is mostly because she was not promised Final Two. So I don't even know if this is actually the reason for any of them. But it is the reason they say, and they do pick Dara. So we lose D, and it sets up our final 3. Once again, I must ask, we've lost Dara. Uh, would you be excited to see Dara return someday?
Nar.
Oh no, not
I would
again.
not.
Very well.
I just don't think she added on to anything. Like, did she make like did she win some challenges? For sure, but I don't personally feel the ones that win a lot of challenges also mean that they're memorable. Like, it doesn't mean if this then that. It doesn't give that.
Agreed.
And so we end up with our final 3. But because we're in the old days, that's not enough. You still have to get past one more tribal council to make it to the final 2. And we actually get, I didn't know if we're going to get one this episode, but we do. It's time for babies first. As for the first time, for probably both of you, but at least for F, we get the rites of passage. This is when the finalists all go to the torches of the previous contestants, and they walk past each one and they like say something about them in their honor.
Yeah, this was definitely Angie's first too. I did not realize they do that. Do they do this every other season too that I haven't watched? It was very ceremonial. I thought it was a pirate thing, so I didn't
That's what it
notice.
felt like. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very ceremonial.
It is actually what always happened for many, many, many,
Oh,
many years.
wow. And do they make them say like nice things about everybody? or I guess things.
You don't need to say nice things. Just say things.
Some people did get just things. Other people got, nice things. I think Lillian and Sandra did some good ones, and then there's John.
Yeah, this was a memorable scene for me. I just found it funny that the continuous call out of Austin, just like
Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna throw a lot of whoever's earned their spot there, and then the camera pans to like a missing like one of those sticks, and it's
Yeah, the
Austin's
torch.
stick. I don't. They could have gone without showing that. They didn't even need to go into that, but I liked it. Continuous digs. And yeah, I agree to what Ange says. Rupert had become a fan favorite. He was one of the people who had multiple commentators. Uh, one of the comments was, "Oh, Rupert's like the best person I've ever known." Like just straight up, like
I
not
think
even
John said that.
exaggerated. Yeah, and then he, there were others where like, "Oh, Nicole, rock and bod." That's it.
I know,
Like,
it's terrible.
like okay.
Oh my gosh. He's so
Yeah.
slimy. Is that what you call it? It's just gross. He's just a gross guy.
It's like the cool bad boy of the 90s and 2000s. That's probably
Agree to
Yuck.
disagree.
maybe heading.
I think certain people could pull it off, but I don't know. John just doesn't give me that vibe.
No, he doesn't. He gives out gross, yucky vibes that I'm gonna call HR for.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, he would get complaints filed against him under normal
he's missing the charisma. Like
Yes.
he has a better social game than a lot of people here. I think what this season was lacking in is there's a lot of people who just did not have a good social game. So I think amongst the crowd, his social game was just trying to manipulate people being that villain. And I don't even think he was that good at it. It's just the other people were just that bad where he was effective in what he did.
And let's not
But
forget, at the end of the rites of passage, they all the torches are put like on a pirate ship, and then they burn the pirate ship down.
yeah, very cool moment.
Risking the safety of the entire
Very
forest.
cool. Burning down the entire island, and then the camera slowly panning away to see like, oh, surely it's not that big of a fire. No, it's like they're burning down like half that beach area. You're like,
No, for real though. I'm
you guys
like,
supposed to be doing this?
yeah, I'm like, is this
Are we like
allowed?
okay to we okay to film this?
Is there like firefighters in the back just ready before it spreads out? Like, this is scary. I thought it was a small fire too, but they went for it. It was like a full fire.
Yeah, they were not holding back.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys would make of this, but they do not do the rites of passage anymore. And they actually, like, it's been years since they did it, and I do not see it coming back. And not only that, people actively don't want the rites of passage anymore.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Not because it's not that Fiji doesn't want the island burning down. I mean, like the people watching at home have like if you ask a current Survivor fan, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, good riddance. I don't like that." But it had happened for I don't know, like at least 30 seasons, probably more.
I mean, it took like maybe 10 minutes or just under 10 minutes of the episode that I think we could have gone without, right? It doesn't necessarily add anything. We're just kind of reminiscing. And it
Oh,
could
so
be
maybe
nice.
I misjudged your reaction. I thought you were like, "Oh, this was great. Happy to
No,
see it."
I like the challenge, but I'm thinking like if I'm a fan, right? And if I'm seeing this every season, then yeah, I would get tired of it. It's one of those things where you see it the first time, it's cool, concept behind it, it's interesting, but do I want to see it every season? No, definitely not.
Interesting. Okay. I'll have to remember to ask you next time we see it come up. Which
Sounds good.
might not be the next season, the next off-season season we watch, but we'll discuss that later. And with that, we go to the next immunity challenge, the final 3 immunity. This was called Set Adrift. And as it sounds, the 3 castaways all have to strike a pose on a raft and just stay there. With the waves bouncing them back and forth, they can't like let their elbows touch the ground or sit down. They have to stand up for however long it takes. And it's just endurance. This is a pretty, not that this challenge is classic, but just the idea of endurance, just stay where you are for as long as you can. That is a classic like final challenge.
This was another very, I guess, low effort challenge, but don't get me wrong. I thought this was a good one, especially compared to the previous one. It was good to see the limits of what your body can take. It's a good send off in terms of we're the finalists. It's make it or break it time. And again, we get to see Sandra did not really fare too well in this challenge. I believe she
Oh
was
yeah, no.
eliminated within the first like half an hour,
I
relatively
don't
quickly.
even think she even made it more than that. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, definitely. I don't. She was not that competitive in this. And the interesting thing was, I for sure thought John would be the first to go. His form just looked awful. It's like, yeah, he's definitely either going to topple over or his back's going to start hurting after a while. And, he's not going to be able to maintain that form for too long. Compare that to Lil. Lil was actually firmly planted, good form. She kept talking about how she's used to this kind of thing. It's one of the few challenges that you saw that she was actually like really confident going in, and she did really well. And it just became a showdown between Lil and John. And John, you got to hand it to him. He stuck in there. Like he probably could have won it. Like it was getting close to the time where Lil was even feeling it. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, we were at what, the 3-hour mark at one point. So I was just
Oh
like
yeah,
laughing
it
thinking about like
becomes
Sandra and Jeff, like what they were doing. They were just chilling there, sitting the whole time, just
I
watching.
know. I know. It's kind of incredible. And at the beginning, John was like, "Oh, my leg's getting numb." So I was like, "Oh, he's done." But he did stay a lot longer than I thought. Um, I don't know
Like
why I keep
three
on expecting
hours, damn.
Sandra to be good, but man, she's so bad at it. I love her, but man, she's bad. But maybe, like, if I was
yeah.
there, I would struggle just as much, but I feel like if I got a good stance, I wouldn't last as long, but I don't maybe not as long as, like, Lillian and John, but I feel like I could do better. I don't know.
That
And
that looks
John
hard to me.
does pull out all the stops here. Like in addition to just trying to stay up, he does, and this as of season 7, so like the 6th season before this, this is heard of. This has happened where in a final challenge like this, one player will offer a deal to the other player like, "Oh, if you jump off, I'll take you, or if I jump off, you'll take me." That has happened,
Mhm.
and it has worked out, and it has not worked out. But the point is, like, people have offered these deals before, and this is what John tries. Lil will to reject all of these and actually not really want to engage in anything. There is an argument to at least engage in the discussion. Like I guess it depends how you're feeling. Like if you think you might lose, then you might want to take a deal. Um, I don't know. Like would either of you under any scenario accept a deal?
No, not at all. Not with John, not for nobody, especially if I knew I had some sort of sliver of a chance. I
Well,
wouldn't make a deal.
let's go back to the question. Like, are you asking if John was offering us the deal or like just anyone in general? Because I think it
Uh,
depends.
any scenario.
I think if you have a good relationship with the other finalist, like if you it's hard to trust anyone for sure. But I think if you're at your wit's end and you at least have a good relationship with them, then you would start contemplating. If it's someone like John, yeah, no way, like I'm not thinking twice about it. But I think it depends on what your relationship is with the person who's making it towards the end.
If like if I have decided I'm very close to falling down, the question like is it better to fall down without making the deal or step off with the deal? Right? Like in that scenario, it could be better to accept the deal and hope that the person abides by it. Like,
It's
it's not great. I mean,
right.
obviously, the best case scenario is you win the challenge. It's just you don't know if you're gonna win the challenge.
It's a pragmatic approach to it, and I would have loved to see, going back to this specific episode, I would have loved to see a ruthless Lil, where she gives John the idea that, okay, yeah, let's I like that plan. Let's do that. I'll take you to finals with me. So she ends up essentially giving him the send off. So he's like, okay, well, I have your word. And then I would love to, in the next tribal, then she decides, yeah, no, I'm not going to take John. She essentially stabs him in the back right at the end. That would have been a very fitting conclusion.
That would have been crazy. I wonder if that's like, would you be hated for that? Would the entire jury turn against you? But
If you're Lillian, maybe.
well, yeah, we'll find that out later. I guess maybe like if you betrayed John, maybe no one would blame you. But
Yeah,
if you
I
did it to
guess.
somebody else, that they'd be like, "Oh, how so despicable." Uh, it is interesting, but all the deals are rejected, and in the end, it is Lil that will win the all important final 3 immunity, and that gives her a very important decision. At tribal, she's going to be the only one who votes, so she's picking who she wants to go to the final 2 with, and she Sandra doesn't really, like, try to bug Lil about it that much. Uh, John does and annoys Lil because of it, and from the outside looking in, it really should be John. Like, if everyone hates him, he's the best person to go against.
For sure. No brainer. I feel like that would be easy to just pick John because everyone hates him. No one's gonna wanna vote for him. You want a gross guy to win $1,000,000? Ew, no.
But he's doing
And
it for his grandma, though.
Don't I was worried he'll pull that, honestly, but, respectfully, grandmother, your grandson's terrible. He don't deserve
oh, no.
$1,000,000.
Oh man.
But that's where I would go, and I know Sandra would feel the same. I know Sandra would be like, "Yep, I don't care." So I feel like that's the smarter move, but I think that's what happens with Lillian is like, what should I do? She was trying to maintain this like, I don't, I rather, the whole thing was like, Sandra's got a husband, got a family, got kids. Like she's got kids, she's got a family. It's like if she wants someone to win, it's like someone like that versus John. And it was a very big like internal battle for her because like when she knows who to pick to win, I feel like, but also she wants to win. If there's a chance of losing, she doesn't want to lose to John.
Right. Yeah, I just wish I was more perceptive at this point, just because the entire sequence we just talked about was foreshadowing for her not choosing John. Because think about it, Sandra got eliminated pretty quickly. John was offering her that, like, oh, okay, like, if you make it, like, like if I eliminate myself, like, you got to take me with you, or vice versa. And if she took that, like, at least for her winning, like, it could have she didn't have to essentially be waiting, or she didn't have to strain herself as much in that challenge. She definitely wouldn't have had to spend at least 3 hours doing it if that was just the easy answer for her. But the
Mm.
fact that she was not taking his like, she was essentially not paying attention to him would tell you that, yeah, she's heavily considering just taking Sandra. It's not that she's not thinking about John, but she's just thinking about how her game is gonna work against Sandra more than if she's gonna take John. And,
Yeah.
if you guys remember, now we go into tribal, now it goes into the vote. We had to actually, like, I remember as the votes were being, like, just before the votes were being tallied, as they showed us the sequence of them going to the little voting area to write the names down. I remember telling Will, "Hey, could you go back to that sequence? I just wanna see," because they showed a little snippet of what Lil was writing,
Oh,
and with,
yes.
like, the way she started, like, her like the letter of the name, the first letter, I'm like, "Oh, that's gotta be an S. That's not a J," because like, her pen would be, like, up there on, like, the upper left corner. She's definitely taking Sandra with her. It's like, at that point, I figured it out rather than if you're just thinking about how that previous challenge went, that is foreshadowing for she's not taking John. She's probably just thinking about how she's taking Sandra.
Mhm.
So, I just thought that was interesting.
I
That
remember.
was an astute observation. I thought about not rewinding. I was like, if he act in like the split second, if he noticed it, I'll hear about. They've gotten better at that. Like nowadays, usually like, oh my god, they're showing me the entire first letter, but it turns out like, oh wait, that's because like the two people on the chopping block have the same first letter in the name.
Yeah.
Uh, and granted, like you thought you saw it, but if you didn't have in 2003, you can't rewind. So in like real time, so
It's a good point.
you would think it, but you wouldn't be sure. And by the time and then like 10 seconds later, he's like reading the votes.
Yeah, and you easily could have missed it. It quite literally was like a split second. It's like you just get to see her pen on the paper and that's it.
Okay, let me read you Lillian's quote at like when she's holding up the piece of paper. We would see it after. Or sorry, this actually is not shown in the episode, but like everybody's fine. Not the final words who's getting voted out, but the final words when you're voting someone out. They're all recorded, so they would release this afterwards. So you guys didn't
Right.
see this. She said, Johnny Fairplay. So she's announcing like she's holding up the parchment. I think the jury, they're going to wise up and see who the master of this game is, and that will put me to second. I'm hoping I have a better chance with Sandra, and this is why I cast my vote to you. Thank you. So if you take her at her word, she's trying to explain it as there's a chance that people think that John played the game better than she played the game,
Gotcha.
and therefore vote for him.
It's so hard to predict. But I do see that though. If I was Lillian, a part of me wants to feel like, okay, people are going to think he's terrible and not want him to win $1 million. But at the same time, if we're talking about Survivor gameplay, John did play really well. Like he was able to manipulate some people and lie after another and still like made some good moves and get people out. So I would feel that way. Like it's easy to be like, oh my gosh, come on, Lillian. You should know John would have not won. But at the same time, you're like, wait, he did make good plays compared to Sandra. And I think he had more to maybe if he did really well in answering the jury, if he was the final two, I think it would have went well for him in a way. But honestly, I feel like John wouldn't do well during jury. Feel like he'll just be very cocky the entire time. And then bad
Right.
taste for other
That's the
people.
other part. Like he still has to talk. He has to like present
Yeah.
himself
Yeah.
with his public speaking. So that could
Yeah.
ruin any of his chances.
Exactly, which he doesn't have much, his public speech is villainous, it's annoying, it's bleh. So, I don't know, but again, this is hard, this is why Survivor is so, like, fun and intricate and so interesting because you can't guess who people are gonna vote, and it really goes into the final tribal and the final 2 on how they answer stuff and how the jury see it.
At this exact moment, so John's gone. What percentage chance did you give Lillian to win?
I did not
I
like her chances.
Yeah, I'm giving, like, I was giving, like, a 30%. Not bad, right?
Yeah, like not the favorite,
Yeah, but
uphill
not like
battle,
0%
but not zero.
because
Okay.
yeah, because at that point, she hasn't, like, sold her case yet. And in a way, she has tilted many votes. Like, in the game, when she came back, she made votes happen. She was the one that people were pulling in. Rupert was pulling her in. It's like, "Hey, why don't you, like, flip on, Morgan?" And that's what she did. She got was it was it Savage out? I think it was she got Savage out, and those were pivotal stuff to like pull in control, and she ended up being like one of the people that people were scared of. Every single person was hyping her up. Every single person was like, if we go to Tribal Lillian, we're not gonna win. And so I still
That's
had that
true.
energy of like, okay, she's well respected. Everybody respects her. So I had a good chance of 30%.
That's a good explanation. I would say I was thinking more of like 20%. And
Mm-mm.
then as soon as they were asked the first question,
Oh,
that immediately dropped down to like maybe 5%.
yes, yes,
Well,
it
yeah,
dropped real
okay.
fast.
So yeah, so we go to final tribal. So it all comes down to this. Uh in these days, it's actually almost the same in season 47 now, but in season 7, it's you make opening statements, then each person asks you a question, well, both of you potentially a question, or just talks at you, whichever, and then you have a closing statement. And the first actual question is from Ryan O. And
Rhino.
Ryan O starts with something that I actually thought this was going to be the theme of the whole tribal, but it really only gets talked about here. And both of you reacted to this when he asked. He asked Lil if she thought it would be fair that she should be able to win when she got voted out this season, whereas Sandra has not been voted out at all. In fact, Sandra hasn't been voted for at all. Her name has not been on a. He didn't mention that part, but I'm just telling you, she hasn't even received a vote.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's impressive. Yeah, I audibly was like, "Wow, Rhino, like first guy come out there basically is like, you already got voted out once. You don't really deserve to even a chance to stand up here." Like basically that's what's going on. It was a great question. I'm shocked it came out, and I like completely forgot the part that she was one of the people that came back. And it's very true. It's very true.
It was just an all-around excellent question, and especially to start out with that, because he not only was asking about that, but he was also saying that Sandra spent more time on the island, right? Like, she was
Yes.
surviving longer,
Yeah.
whereas you might have gotten a brief period of relief, like, who knows what happened kind of behind the scenes.
That's true. I
But
forgot about
Sandra
that.
had to stick it out the entire time, so that was a perspective that I never thought about. That was, like, a very good question that he framed and really give some thought in terms of, yeah, like how he's even thinking. Like it's, someone's putting in a lot of effort. How exactly can you justify you're the winner over her? And the point about her not getting the votes, that was essentially my dream scenario for how Sandra would have won. Like it's not something I was actually expecting to turn out that way, but the entire point of me seeing her as the like the shot in the dark winner, pun intended,
Right.
would
Under
be
the radar, we'd say.
I definitely wanted to say shot in the dark just to keep it with the
I
Survivor
love
theme.
it.
But,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah, but the entire basis for that had been that, she's here, she's there. She's not invisible like some of the other contestants had been. She's still participating in things. She has a voice. She's getting into bouts even with Johnny, and it's just one of those things where it's a case of either she's likable or she's not seen as a big enough threat that's keeping her afloat where no one's even thinking of voting her. And then on top of that, you have someone recognizing that, hey, she's been on the island for this long. Hey, she hasn't gotten a single vote. So what does that speak to? That speaks to she's been likable and she's put in a lot of effort to stay throughout the entire game. So what reason do you have to be over her? So that's what I meant by, whatever chances Lil had, as soon as that question was asked, even the way she responded, I don't think she responded that well. That's not an easy question to answer, but I think she kind of broke in the moment. She wasn't able to keep her emotions in check. You could tell that the way the question was asked did bother her. And, it got to her and Sand responded very thoughtfully. She was giving kind of, I would say like PR responses, which is just what she needed.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
just, yeah.
Lil essentially she mainly tried to say like, hey, those 8 days, it was no picnic being an outcast, is a quote from her. She the only thing she really had against that was it was still hard being out of the game too. She kind of mentioned
Yeah,
like thinking
for sure.
like the emotional toll of being voted out, in addition to Jeff claims that they did their best to make sure that the people who voted out also like did not have a lot of food and water and stuff.
But
But
like it's
I'm
just
sure they had
so
like a
hard to
bed though. Like I don't think they were out in the woods somewhere.
right. It's just so hard to make your case for that, right? Like whatever she's saying could be true, but factually, this person has been on screen, like, they've been a survivor. They're still in the game. That speaks volumes. They've been surviving day in and day out without any breaks in between or whatever have you that the outcast might have gotten. So we don't know what that behind the scenes look like. And for us, it's just, you know, it's not an easy response that she has to give there, but it sets the stage for her downfall.
Now, all right, you're on the jury. Does this affect you? Does this is this a factor in who you're voting for? Removing any of the context of what these players did. One player spent 39 days on the island, and one player spent 31 days on the island.
I think so. I think the fact that it's not just less time spent on the island, but also the fact that this player was voted out, and had a second chance. I think that puts you down a little, just not a whole big a lot, but just a little bit. Yeah, I am thinking that, hey, the fact that you had a second chance, a second life. She did work for it, sure, but she still had that advantage given to her, versus Sandra didn't have that.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. She did not only did she not have that, she had to then go through other challenges that, uh, you know, that Lil was not a part of. She had to
Yeah.
continue making sure her relationships with the others were good, that she wasn't ruffling any feathers. She had to continue to make a case for herself not to be eliminated during those days, excuse me. So
But
it's
I think in the moment
it's a
though,
factor.
I mean this would I mean it would be a big factor for me. This is like my reflex is like you don't deserve to win. Like there's nothing you can tell me to make me
Ooh.
vote for you.
Really? You're like, "No, not at all."
But
I
I will say
see.
like if I could think rationally, I think what would have to happen is the like a Lil in this case would have to say back to me that like I'm just following the rules of the game. Like it's not like
Mm,
because your instinct is to feel like you're a cheater, like you don't deserve to be here. But no, like like it's just following the game mechanic. So that's not the case. So I think if the person told that to me, it'd be able to snap me out of it. But my first thought is like, why would I ever vote for someone who already got voted out?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
The whole
we're in
point of
we're in
the
agreement there.
game. Yeah, I agree on that. I do, and I think what happened was this got her very, like, defensive, and it just came out more like, "Oh, you don't know what I've been through," or like, I've had to go through all this turmoil of, like, being voted out by my team and all that stuff, and I don't think that comes out in a good way. I don't think that is likable, and as a jury to see that, because all of them besides one guy, Burton, like, didn't go through that. So all they see is you got voted out and you got to skip several potential immunities, like challenges you got to skip out on tribal and come back. You get to skip out a little bit. And so I don't think that worked out. Like her way of arguing wasn't good.
Yeah, I think the only way out of it is you need to two-step process. You need to acknowledge that yes, in one aspect, I am less than because by the
Mhm.
numbers, I did get voted out and I did spend less time. But then part two is, but let's focus on what I did when I came back, and then you'd have to like rattle off like all the even if you're lying about it, just like all the things, the ways you impacted the game, what you did to actively shape your destiny when you come back. I think that's your best shot of get because you're right. This is uh a game losing question right off the bat. Like
Mhm.
this is a deal breaker for people in the jury if you cannot talk your way out of it. And not only can Lil not talk her way out of it, but she will take herself deeper eventually. But shout out to Ryan O because he asked that question and then asked Sandra. Right, he can't ask her the same question, not applicable. So he asks her about if she felt that she rode Rupert's coattails for most of the season. And I don't think
Oh
she
my
actually named Rupert
goodness.
by name,
Yeah.
but that's the only person he could be talking about. This is also a dangerous question for Sandra because no one likes someone who just did nothing. As cool as being a shot in the dark winner is, if all you did was stand there and watch people else get voted out, but you did not actually like get anybody out, people might not be impressed.
Yeah.
So this is
For
another good question.
Yeah, it was a good question, but I felt like opposite of what Lillian did. She answered it really well in terms of saying like, she in the beginning they were just as like what is going on, they were in this new place and they found each other, they worked together. I feel like she made it less like following coattails and more like they were together, like her, Rupert, Krista working
Krista, yep.
together. And also Rupert was gone very early, like right after the merge he was gone, so Sandra had to last, I don't know the specific days, like longer, much longer after him. So if it was truly coattails, she would have been gone after that, and I think that that argument was really good, and I think that was respected. Even, like, I saw Rupert, like, nodding, I felt like, and he was like, "Yep, yeah, agree."
Yeah, you nailed it. I would say the same thing. It's one of those things where even us as the viewers, we didn't see she was slacking anywhere. She was also one of the folks in her tribe was doing tasks. She wasn't just lazing around. So I never got the sense watching her that she wasn't contributing. Everyone was being helped out by Rupert. It wasn't even just strictly her, but she
Agree,
was also
agree.
doing her own part. She wasn't getting into any fights with anyone outside of maybe John, but
Yeah.
that one gets a free pass from me any day of the week.
Yeah, if anything, that
And
gives you a positive for me. I like it.
right,
Fight
right.
more, fight John more, show him what's up.
Yeah, and she snuck around, right? Like she was trying to make sure that no one was trying to deceive her. So I still I still remember her talking about spying on some of her tribe mates like practically every
Yes.
night. That
Yes,
was
it's like
hilarious. So
nobody
it was
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, it was weird. Like she's naming things that are kind of mean and rude to do. Like like not only eavesdropping, you're hiding in the bushes to do it, but ultimately we are rooting for her. It is interesting. Like in a different season, like Sandra's the one we're mad at, right?
I
But
give her a pass because it's,
Mm.
you're not expecting someone to be like this in their day to day. I think this is how I see it, right? Like you've heard me use the word adaptable several times. You have to adapt to your environment. If you want to win in Survivor, you have to be pragmatic. You have to it's a win at all costs approach. Obviously, I think there are lines that you should not cross. There's things that you probably don't do just because from like a moral standpoint they'd be wrong. And even like they're not even going to help you in the game. But what she's doing is she's doing things that are harmless towards other people. For the most part. I say that with a disclaimer. I think her fish fiasco after Rupert got eliminated put a lot of heat on someone who would have supported her throughout the rest of the game, Krista. So that did backfire on her, but for the most part, she didn't intentionally do that to cause Krista to get in trouble. That's just kind of how it turned out.
no, but she did
But
intentionally leave her under the bus. She did not save
right.
her from getting run over the bus.
Yeah, so that goes back to my point with being pragmatic. You're trying to survive another day because eventually if you make it to the end, the game will get easier once you're able to finish with a survivor like with Johnny, right? Because like he's just not going to be likable. So as long as you're not being like not as long as you're not crossing the line, being respectful towards others and contributing, I think this sort of thing is like she's just trying to make sure that no one is going to sneak up on her with something, rather than there's anything malicious behind it.
Helps when John's taking up all the villain screen time. So there's no time for you
Right
to be
on.
the villain. Uh, so after
Yeah.
that, those great questions by Ryan, or as Jeff would say, Rhino.
I
Then
know.
then this is where it all goes wrong, and Lil is not able to recover from this. So Rupert is next, and his question to Lil is it's just a lot of words, but ultimately she's asking if she used playing this game as an excuse to not abide by the Boy Scout values. As what
And that's where all
and
goes down.
and then the follow-up, he ends up being like, "Oh, like you," because she, as you may recall, she is responsible for him going home. She does ultimately side against Rupert. She's part of the group that votes out Rupert. So he's also upset that she turned on him and wants to know if there was ever a time that she was honest with him, and she can't really give a satisfactory answer. But this is going to snowball to just about every other question directed at Lil, is how she could be lying and deceitful when she's representing the Boy Scouts.
No kidding.
It's crazy because I don't feel like a lot of people usually pull their daily lives like that to throw it in their face, you know? Um, I just it was just like I'm shocked that I don't, as much as I was not rooting for Lillian to win, I was just shocked that it got brought up so much of like you're the scout boys, like scout youth scout member, and how could you like be lying and deceitful? Like how do you feel about yourself? And her way is just her playing the game, which I completely get in her defense, to be honest, but I feel like everyone's so stuck on her being that person. I think it's the uniform. I think it's the fact that she wore this uniform and had to stick with the uniform because all their clothes were taken away, so she had
Well,
nothing else to
well, right.
try.
Like people didn't show up in their outfits intending to wear them. So
Yes.
Andrew Savage was like in his like suit and
Yes.
suit jacket and everything.
Yes. So I personally thought it was crazy. They went ham on her. And it was just not with just one person, it just kept coming back again and again and again, and she had to keep on defending the same thing of, like, she had to adjust, she had to do what has to be done, like, her Survivor her is not the real her outside of Survivor, and, it's interesting because after you were saying, like, it's fine for, like, Sandra to be a certain way outside in Survivor, you have to adapt versus I feel like she is adapting, but it's not as appreciated in this sense.
Right, right. It's just so hard, right? Like there's only so much you can do. It's the beatdown just kept coming after this question, and I think it's an important question to ask, but it does not need repeating because she's just going to give you one answer. And while I can understand why someone might perceive it that way, I also don't think she should be defined by that. It's what like it's how she's playing the game. It's how everyone else would be playing the game. So I don't think while I didn't think that she was gonna be winning by any means, this tribal, especially from the previous question, and I thought this question would take it a little bit further. I felt that there was no need to bring up this topic again over and over again. So it was just kind of beating a dead horse at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll become so bad that by the time we get to closing statements, like Sandra gives just a normal I did my best. I stand by what I did. Like I might have been mean to some of y'all, but like I came to play. Kind of just very like by the numbers, cookie cutter response. Lillian's closing statement was ultimately like I regret what I did. I shouldn't have worn this uniform. Like she doesn't
Oh, it's
she's
bad.
emotional. She's not
Yeah.
talking about her moves at this point. Like it's all falling apart. And yeah, I feel bad. And now she could have adapted, right? Like this was one last challenge to adapt to, and she couldn't do it. She could have
Yeah. She
doubled
folded.
down and said like, "Look, I do represent the Boy Scouts outside the game and inside the game. I played to win, and I got all of you out, and this is how I
Yeah.
did it." Which is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
She betrayed uh all of Morgan, so that's Tawana and Ryan and Dara on the jury in the beginning. She would betray John and Burton when in the Burton vote, and she would turn on Krista and Rupert and Sandra in the pivotal vote to get out Rupert. So she could have said like, I paved the way, I got out who I need to get out to get here. She could have like said something along those lines.
Yeah, I think the part where Lillian came in was like she was very wishy-washy the entire time, like when she came back. It's always like she would be doing certain moves and then she'll feel bad, she'll cry, she'll be like, "I shouldn't have done this, I should have done this," and everybody or, like, mostly it's like Bert and John would have to, like, console her, be like, "No, you're not bad, it's okay," like, versus I feel like if she really just hone in on, like, "This is my plan," that's better. I feel like the fact that, this has happened a couple times, I already like, when she got, like, emotional about this because like, I would be too if I was getting, like, called out like this, she was battered on, but, like, compared to Sandra, she they were coming at her. I was already like, when she got emotional, I could already feel, like, Dara rolling her eyes. Like, it's like, "Oh, there she goes again, crying." But, like and that's what they always talk about is, like, Lillian's just gonna cry. John said that too, like, in Tribal, she's just gonna cry those tears and try to win those votes, and it kind of, like it's tough. I feel like it was tough for Lillian, and I feel like her backing down, being like, I shouldn't have worn this. I should just do this, play this way." It kind of she sold herself as a loser. She sold herself as not a good player because she just got here in the end and didn't she's not proud of her what she did. She's not proud of her gameplay, and that is telling.
Right. Just the entire episode, right? Like the final stretch was outside of the challenge was just not a good showing by Lillian. Like even earlier in the episode where they all got letters, which by
Mhm.
the way, interestingly enough, they never showed what John's letter said. They did show everyone else's.
The
They
Yeah.
world may
saw
never know
Lillian
who.
again also just crying, kind of just reading her note. And John was kind of making fun of me. He's like, "Oh, like look, she's trying to get like some sympathy,
Yeah.
getting very emotional over this." So it was one of those things that, everyone else was also taking notice of, and it wasn't helping her game. I think that's the
No.
one area that I'm sure, like, without a doubt, I'm sure things are tough for her. I don't wanna take anything away from her, but, like, you have to harden up because people see that as a sign of weakness,
Yeah.
and they will grill you on it if they see that.
Yeah. Because 'Cause you're winning $1,000,000. You have to prove to these people that, you deserve it. And I feel like it just goes back. She was just too wishy-washy.
Yeah,
This
maybe
Boy
it's
Scout.
it's just that, and sometimes this is a negative, but because Sandra had a tight bond with Rupert and Krista, but once that got broken up, she was unable to build a new alliance. But when you're not in an alliance, you can't betray anybody. So there's not so like on the jury, I just like Lillian got out every single one of those people or betrayed them. Sandra didn't do any of them. I mean, she might have voted against them, but she voted against these people in a losing effort. So there's not going to be as many hard feelings as someone who, because Lillian switched sides often. Everyone has a reason to be mad at her. So it was like a bunch of different things together. It's you flip flopped, which opened the door for you to vote out a lot of these people. Then also there's this weird game mechanic where now someone might not think you're deserving just because you were the person affected by the game mechanic. Not much you can do about that other than not get voted out in the first place, I guess. And then there's this Boy Scout thing. And by the way, Boy Scout motto, uh, as a proud uh second class uh, uh, Boy Scout,
We thank
Ooh,
you for your
the,
services.
the
I love
motto
it.
is "Be prepared." There's nothing about like never lying to anybody.
It's
The-
crazy. It's just crazy. Wow, I can't believe it. Really? It's not
Now,
about being honest or honor?
now, yes, if I raise my hand and go like on Scout's honor, then and I go against that, that is not a good thing to do. But I don't think we ever saw Lillian do that. The only people who
No.
did that were like mocking her, like Byrne actually at some point was like did Scout's honor for something, and she's
Oh,
like, "Oh,
yeah, he did do that.
you even know this Boy Scout oath, yeah." Um,
Yeah. I don't think I feel like she did if she was always like, "Oh, as a Boy Scout, I would never lie," and then she, like, made it her personality then to lie, then I get it. but she did not do that. I need to like go through like now this season I'm gonna have to look through everybody's careers and be like, okay, well if you are like this type of job, you shouldn't be lying, and you're lying, and I'm gonna count you on that.
Take a look at Andrew Savage first, lawyer.
Exactly. It's just I don't know. It's kind of it was funny how crazy they went for her on that. It just kept on going.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Great
Yeah.
points, Will. I liked, I'll throw in one other observation that I noticed, which is why I didn't think she would have a strong showing against Sandra. Your point about, she came back through like a cheat system. You and I both, when we were discussing it first, like with the outcast coming back, I did not like that mechanic at all. And that's why if I was a jury, I'd be very cutthroat with, yeah, like with Rhino's question. That's something, unless she has a very good, like she would need to have pretty much a perfect response, not for me to vote her out right there. But the other thing that you have to consider is she not only came back, she was on the receiving end of some challenge that she herself didn't win later on. So she got some treatment, she got some form of relief that the other contestants didn't get. I'm sure that would have rubbed some of them the wrong way, like, if they're thinking about it further and further.
I just want to be careful, and that's why I said like, if Lillian herself answered my question the right way, I'd get over it because she didn't ask to be put back in the game. Like it's not like she had no control over this, so I don't want to hold the game mechanic against somebody. I'm just acknowledging like my initial feelings are gonna be that though, like
Yeah.
this isn't fair.
Yeah.
But
I
but
agree.
if I'm able to get over that though, then I that's what I'm saying. I need a little bit of help to get over it, and that help probably have to come from her. And
Yeah.
if I get it, then then I could vote for you.
Yeah, and I feel like if she would have been like, this was part of the game, yes, 1, and also 2, she was voted back in, and they won from a challenge. I think that would be another thing to add on, but I felt like she was
That's a
just
great point.
more saying like, "Oh, well, I went through the same thing as you, even though I'm not there, I did." I don't think that was right way to do it, but she could have said like, "Hey, we had a challenge, like, it wasn't guarantee I come back, I had to win, we had to, like, work as a team, as outcasts to win and beat you guys," you know? And it's not easy, but we did it, you know? And I think that would be more respected.
Yeah, that's similar feelings. We of course we haven't watched it yet, but there will be a season where the immunity idol is introduced for the first time ever.
I'm
So
excited for that.
similarly, that's a new game mechanic. If somebody used that idol to save themselves, someone might feel how they felt about Lil here, like, oh, that was a cheap way for you to survive. But years, like decades later, that's just a normal part of the game. No one would think that now.
Not to delve too much into the topic, but I think just from my perspective on that, I don't think that's as bad because you're getting it while you're already in the game before you're eliminated, and you're putting in some extra effort to even get that in the first place. It's essentially a safety net you're creating for yourself rather than a second chance you're just being given. Now, mind you, some of them are easy to get, but yeah, like if I'm being completely honest, I would still probably be pretty cutthroat about especially if someone eliminated me coming back into the game. She doesn't have control over that for sure, but I without a doubt would have some bitterness over that. And the thing that I think about is someone like Sean who did not even get the opportunity to come back around the time he got eliminated in the game. So it's like though the mechanics benefit some and they definitely need some tweaking. They're not perfected by any means, but they definitely give some people leverage more than others. And like with some of the questions that jury members were asking, they obviously felt some of that bitterness.
Oh yeah, the whole this whole tribal council continues, and like there'll be like tough like 3-part question to Lillian, and then Sandra will just get a softball. Like even Rupert's question, Sandra's like, "Did you know I was going home?" And he probably already knows the answer. Like obviously she voted with Rupert, so she didn't vote against him. Or like people are rolling their eyes at Lillian. So now Lillian, already stressed, is watching this play out too, hearing these easy questions to Sandra. Krista's question to Sandra was just, a lot of these people don't know about all these plans you came up with. So I just thought you'd like to tell them about like your plans and prove that you like had strategy. So that's not even a question. That's just like, listen, everybody, Sandra's great. Basically, is what Krista is saying. But okay, Mr. Shot in the Dark. So what if Lillian saved herself a shot in the dark via random chance? You mad?
You know what I would
Or is it
what I would
part of
say
the
to
game?
that?
Mm-hmm.
I would say F that.
Touche.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
So after this onslaught against Lillian, it really is it's a foregone conclusion. If you guys were at 30% and 20%, you've probably gone to like 3% and 2% for
Yeah, for sure.
Lillian to win at this point. And in fact, we would get the vote, and it is everyone except Tawana voting for Sandra. And that will end up being a 6-1 victory. Sole survivor, new millionaire, Sandra Diaz Twine.
The most
Woo!
surprising
Congrats
thing
to
for
Sandra.
me was it was not a clean sweep. The fact that she got one vote was pretty surprising.
One vote. It would have. I told her she had not received a vote up to this point, so she was that one vote away from a perfect game.
Ah,
Ooh.
T, come
Well.
on. Dang. But at the same time, I do get why T did it, because remember, Sandra was the one that sold Lillian, being like, every single one of you got voted out because of her. And in a way, if someone respects the game of Survivor, will actually respect that and be like, hey, you made all these moves. You got us out. Although the people that are being voted out are probably like, wait a minute. I don't want to vote. I don't want to make you win $1 million when you made me lose $1 million.
Yeah,
I think
it's the type
there's
of thing that's normally really bad to say about
Yeah.
your competition, but A, it's early Survivor, and B, this is just a great read by Sandra. Like, she's determined that this group of jury members, that's going to be in my favor, not Lillian's favor.
the thing that comes to mind with T is she had that one session with Sandra where Sandra's like, oh, I sneak up on these guys all the time, like every single night. You should join me just to hear what they're saying. She was able to get Tawana to vote against them, but she herself voted with them.
Yeah,
So
right?
Mhm.
could
I
that
would
have
just be
played a factor? I don't know.
maybe, like, right? You would feel like you were just played for a fool. You were just strung along for
Yeah.
no reason. Now, granted, so was Dara. She was part of that too. But maybe at that point, Dara was more like a passenger. She's like, oh, whatever, I'll vote this
That's
way.
literally Dara the entire season. Just, I don't know, man. I don't know what's my next step. I'm just here. I don't know if I want you to be in my final 2, Lillian. This is too early.
I just
It's
don't want to think about
ma'am?
anything.
Yeah, I just don't want to think about it right now. I don't want to go against you. What? Dara, please. Just lie. Gosh dang it. It's so close. Please.
So going down the
funny thing-
line, so sorry, I was just gonna say, so we start in 3rd place. We've got John. So would you be excited to see John
No.
in a future season?
Absolutely. No.
Well, there is a case I would like to see him again.
Oh, really?
If for some reason
Ooh.
he's the first person eliminated almost immediately, then yeah, that would be pretty funny.
I think it would be fun if it's like all villainous Survivor people coming back. I guess so like it's all people like him. So he can't be the center of attention. He can't be the cool guy that is, you know,
You're
the
saying like
villainous guy.
16 villains all in the same season.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That would be so chaotic.
It would be, but he doesn't make him any special. So I wonder, like, would he break character and be something else? Because I don't believe this is him. Like, I feel like he is a full-on actor that monopolized this type of thing. From what I understand, he is famous, right? Like, he's famous currently. So I feel like he is monopolizing this character, this persona. I don't think he's like this behind closed doors. That's my conspiracy theory.
Just imagine a hypothetical scenario where there is a season like that, and like he gets paired up with someone like Rome, and Rome's like, oh, like I'm just not gonna let.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna be attached to your hip. I'm not gonna let you get any privacy. And and Johnny's just gonna be like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. Let me just tell you about my grandma who just recently died.
Oh my
Let's have a chat
gosh.
about her."
No.
Yes, or I when they do, like, their own, like, confessionals, there's, like, "I hate how this person is so, like, creepy with girls," and then, like, a clip of him being creepy with girls. Like, they hate the other people for the same thing they
Oh
do.
no.
Like, that would be just, like, pure, like, amazingness, like, just, I would
You
love
get
it.
like a shot
Chef's
of them
kiss.
like, "Hey, John, pass me the binoculars. You know what I need them for."
Yeah, oh my god. Uh,
Oh boy. Yeah, well, okay, so that's John. Then our runner-up, Lil. Any desire to see Lil play once again?
No. No, definitely not.
you know, I would wanna see her back just to see if she would play it differently. Like would she take away I want her I don't know, I'm on and off. I'm not like a hard no, but at the same time, she did have her second chance already, so she actually came back. Actually, I'm talking myself out of it. Nar.
Oh no. No, no. Was that? No. I don't th- I don't know that I'd like it'd be nice if she played differently, but it just seems likely that she would play the same way. With or without the Boy Scout uniform, she would play the same way.
Yeah, that's true.
So that
Ugh.
that leaves our champion, our winner, Sandra. Do you want to see the winner defend her crown?
Only for
Down.
that reason, yes. I
Yes.
because she won, I wanna see if she's able to win again. But if you were to ask me of any survivor this season that I would like to see, she would not be my top option. It would be very clearly Rupert for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember you guys talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. It's been no's from both of you since Rupert until right now, where like maybe John and Sandra.
Yeah, I feel like if she was in another season, I would hope that I see a bit more plays from her. Since now I feel like playing Survivor a second time would be very different, and I would want someone to play it differently. I feel like if she played Survivor like this time where she was trying to be in the background, I feel like you can't be in the background. You win $1,000,000, so I feel like you can't be in the background, actually. So
Yeah,
I take
like
it
you
back.
not only are you a former player, you're a
You're from a
former
winner.
winner.
Yeah. So I guess you can't be in the background. So I would be interested in seeing how she is in the future when she comes back, if she ever comes back.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like being a sports fan, like you love to see like records broken. So much in the same vein, like you would love to see a situation where if she comes back, how is she going to play things differently? Or other people are going to be familiar with the fact that, oh, she's a winner, so they'll be a little bit more wary. So she has to work twice as hard to be able to keep herself afloat. Like
Yeah.
it's those little things, right? Like could she win a second time? Could she win a third time? Could like how many times can we have one winner in Survivor? Like how many times can they win? Like
I
that
don't
is
know how many times a person has won. Like, what's the max amount?
I'm just asking like hypothetically. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
just for like, that would be cool to see.
yeah.
Not
I want
specifically
like
for her as an individual, but like what
mhm.
she represents.
Yeah, I would want, like, a training montage of Sandra being, like, really good at water challenges. Like, she's like, "I enrolled into Olympic level swimming competitions, and now I swim, like, crazy good," and she's gonna kill it in every water, type of challenges.
I could
Like,
see
that
it
would be
now.
crazy.
Those Rocky montages, but for her.
Yes, like
Play
One
Eye of the
Punch Man,
Tiger
like that
in the
too, I want
background.
like a One Punch Man, like, "I ran 100
You
laps,
got it.
I swam 100 laps, I did
I'm down
100
for this.
push-ups."
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
down for this.
yes. And then Sandra just wins it all, and it's like, and then you just hear John's, like, voice in the background, it's like, "You're so bad at water challenges, so bad at water challenge, so bad at water." Then she just wins. That would be iconic.
Yeah, it's a very, very short list of survivors who played on back-to-back seasons to like not actually just defend the championship, but just like try again immediately. Because like there's plenty of people who've played more than once, but to play in consecutive seasons is very rare.
So, will I see Ryan Shoulders back?
Uh, sh
I've decided. I know you both have told me you don't want to know about future, who's going to show up and who's not going to show up. But I've decided executive decision to reveal to you the fate of Ryan Shoulders.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay.
And I can inform you that Skinny Ryan
No.
does not return.
Wait. No, pay attention to the wording here. He refers to him as Skinny Ryan. So what if he got bigger? What if he's
That's
no
true.
longer
And
Skinny
it's
Ryan?
not right. Yeah, it's Ryan Shoulders now, you know? I will never.
What if
I
it's
will
Beefy
never.
Ryan next time we hear about it?
Beefy,
Oh my
Beefy Ryan,
gosh.
big shoulders Ryan.
Big shoulder Ryan, big back Ryan. Oh my god. And then this is the whole time. And then the next season you show Ryan Shoulders come up, I'm gonna freak out.
It's like
I don't believe you will.
There are, count them, four people from this season that will appear again.
4. I can guarantee it's Rupert.
Number.
I think it's definitely
yeah, honestly, Rupert for sure is probably one of them.
I can't. I guess John, because
I'd be
I
impressed
don't
if you
know.
guessed all 4, but you guys have been on the money all season on like predicting things even by accident.
I think 3 of them are safe bets for me is Sandra, Rupert, and John. The 4th one would be a little tough.
Burton?
Big shoulder Ryan?
I could see Burton.
I'm hoping for Ryan. I will shoulder that thought forever. I'm always going to hold my breath that Ryan Shoulders coming back.
Could it be
Season
Burton?
50 Ryan Shoulders? It's not too late.
I don't know. I just have a weird thing about like, I think because he's an outcast, I'm just not seeing him have like he might get it. I'm just so biased. Yeah, no, I'm just biased against outcasts. I'm like,
I know. Like
not in my prim and proper
oh my
Survivor
gosh,
show.
That's too funny.
We have decency here.
Because the outcast. I mean, in the end, everyone gets voted out. So it's just funny because like you're like, nah, not the outcasts.
Yeah, we're done with that.
You're
We already
giving
relived that.
Savage, F. You're giving Savage.
Wait, I'm giving Savage? No, probably not.
You know, I was to wrap up this season. I was gonna ask, like ultimately, what are you gonna remember this season for? And I tried to make a big list. I think. Well, let me go through the list, but I think I know what it's between. So. Some of the stuff I thought, obviously in this group, the Skinny Ryan Shoulder puns will go down in history. Like that's what I'm gonna remember at least. There's of course in the beginning of the season, the Morgan tribe standing with Austin to compete in the nude. That was odd.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There's all the like shouting matches that came up this season, whereas like last season, like we saw like one maybe between Roman and Soul, and I don't even know if that was even shouting. That was just I don't know, like aggressive language. One of the biggest one ever was she died, dude. Dead grandma, of course. There's Lil inexplicably just mouth to mouth kissing Burton. That was sudden.
Mm-hmm.
There's also just Rupert himself, Pirate Rupert. That like super memorable himself. There's the Outcast twist. We've talked a lot about it, so clearly that's memorable.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, on my list at least, is the marooning, which is the what they did in the beginning. You're gonna go with the clothes on your back, go into the town. Buy your stuff. Rupert steals shoes.
Iconic.
All that, right? There's a lot of contenders for like what you're gonna remember the season for.
Yeah, I mean, I would throw in Austin quitting too. Like,
Austin's scared of getting pneumonia. Yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna die and get pneumonia, man. I'm just gonna do that.
And Jeff being like visibly upset over that, being passive aggressive. That was interesting.
Oh yeah, or Jeff being angry when Drake just kind of threw the game on purpose. I don't think I've seen him so like
I
he
can't believe
came
I
for
missed that
them.
episode. You guys have mentioned it, but that's like the one episode I
Oh
did
my
not
gosh,
see.
right. You got to watch it.
Yeah, I do.
Because
Oh,
his
okay,
face, he
okay.
looks
So
disappointed. He was like a disappointed father.
so I got my fourth guess actually. So the fourth person I would assume who could come back, I'm gonna say Krista.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm going to believe in my heart, Ryan Shoulders.
Okay. All I can tell you is that skinny Ryan does not return.
You never said Ryan Shoulders don't return, so I'm holding my breath.
Do you guys, are you gonna remember the dead grandma lie more, or you think you're gonna remember the outcasts more? Like when
Oof.
you think of this season, the pirate season, is
It's the dead grandma.
Dead grandma.
Dead grandma.
dead grandma.
It's
dead
the moment where like I felt bad, and then he mentioned his grandma's watching the show, and I'm like, what? What do you mean?
This would be
I don't-
such an absurd idea, but I would love if John does actually come back for another season. Like he actually comes back with his grandma.
Oh my gosh! Like
Oh, so this time
yeah.
she shows up at the loved one's visit.
No, like she's actually
No, grandma's
competing with him.
playing.
Yeah, like
Oh, she's
that'd be so
playing.
absurd, but
Grandma's playing now.
Wow.
just imagine the
hy-
viewership on that.
Hypothetically speaking, if there was a season where you and a loved one are both in the game, and that goes for everybody, would you be interested in such a season?
Yes, because I love awkward humor, and I feel like there would be
Right.
a lot of
Like-
awkward moments.
Yeah,
Like
that would be fun.
Like let's say a tribe of all people, and the other tribe is all those people's loved ones.
I'd be down. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, that makes for some very awkward moments for sure.
Okay, I'll file the information away in the archives. The very last thing then is one more before we get out of here. Babies first. So you guys saw Babies First live reunion show, because this is how it used to be every single season. Everyone goes to Los Angeles or New York City. So like on the island, the votes are cast. Jeff has them in the urn, and then he just walks away. You're like, what? And then he like walks down the steps, and suddenly he's in Los Angeles, and here he comes to the live studio audience, and reads the votes to everyone around the world. Months later for these people, and then they just spend like an hour recapping the season essentially.
Yeah, and then bashing on Lil some more, reminding Austin he quit. Good times.
Yeah, Jeff was pretty mean.
He was
Just
like he didn't make a jab. It was like, you guys really went hard on like Lillian about that. Like I would have, but I'm not playing the game. You guys are. Like he was like, I've never heard him say something like that. I was like, wait, what? You just said that.
Was it Sean or Andrew? He was like asking someone if they were dating another contestant. Like he was just trying to get into like some controversy or something. Like I don't know what his
Oh
game plan for that
right.
was.
Was it with Dara?
It was, but then he kept on asking multiple people. I think
so?
Dara,
Anyone hooked up
he
after the show?
asked, yeah, like I think Dara, he asked if eventually if she would go out with John, is basically what he asked her. And then
She
And
has
then
a
to-
fiance.
and then to other people, he just asked like, "Oh, so I hear that you're you know, that you're with someone." And then no, I mean, good on them. No one gave him a straight answer, because what a weird thing to ask in front of the millions watching at home.
It's very awkward. It's
Yeah,
giving like
I
Love is
don't know what
Blind
his-
after show or something.
I don't know what the game plan for that was. Like I don't know what he was expecting.
I don't really care for it.
Yeah,
Personally.
but you know, we would always get this. This was the norm, and of course, the pandemic happens, and then they do like a Zoom version of it, and then after the pandemic, they do a You Saw 47. They read it right then and there, immediately after the votes are cast, and then have some like Fiji pizza afterwards.
The pizza party after.
I
know.
definitely prefer that approach if I'm actually playing. Like just the wait to know if I've won like half a
Then
year
if-
later.
Oh, but then if you lose, you're just there and everyone's celebrating and you're going through all this emotion and they're asking you how you feel and everyone talking about how good the person that won's competition was. I would be dying in the inside.
I feel like rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get it over with.
Yeah, you
Like
want to get it over with?
like
Okay,
if
fair.
they had done it right then and there, then Jeff would probably have been like, "So Lil, do you feel like you really like represented the Boy Scouts well?" Like he would start asking those questions
Oh, yeah.
right then after she hasn't even got over it yet.
Like, Lil, do you
Yeah.
feel like you quit on the Boy Scouts like Austin quit on the skate?
I was surprised they invited him back, but you know what? They gave him a
I
chance
know,
to
right?
speak for himself. I still don't think like it did. He didn't like. I don't think this made him look better, and then maybe that's what they were going for. But they did let him at least show up.
True.
But but uh but yeah. So that and then after that, they close it. They have a preview for the next season, which I skipped for you guys, so you wouldn't nothing will be revealed. Funny enough, I learned that this season, 6 weeks later would be the next season by like air dates. Like for whatever reason, like this got delayed or that was early, so they were really, really close to each other.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, it's like back to back.
And in fact, I think it's safe to tell you this: we are not going to watch the season for quite a while because it requires knowledge of past seasons. But season 8 of Survivor, like if you look up a list of the names of all the season 8 is all stars. It was the first ever returnee season. So in general,
Ooh.
from the first 7 seasons, the quote unquote all stars. I put it in quote because notoriously people are like, "What? They're an all star? What are you talking about?" Like people never agreed who the all stars are. But in theory, the best players from the previous 7 seasons.
Best in terms of what exactly? That is to be determined.
Well, yep, that's a great observation, and I can tell you it was never determined. So people argue about it to this day. Also, you need someone to actually like
Interesting.
say yes. Like you can get invited back, but you actually have to agree to go back to.
So, what are we looking forward to next now that this season is wrapped up?
Luckily, there's only one thing to look forward to, and that is season 48.
Yay!
Oh, do you mean season that's close to Sue's age?
Oh my goodness, F. That is effing savage of you. Oh my goodness.
Those puns just keep them coming.
Oh my goodness. Amazing.
See, like behind the curtain, we're like in the timeline, we're like literally about to go watch it. So I'll be shocked if we turn on this season and it's like this season we have 2 returning people from last season, and then Sue's one of them.
Oh my
For
goodness.
redemption.
Sue and
2
Kyle.
people here for
Best buddies.
redemption.
Redemption
that would be
Island.
that would be great. Like you could have like captain seasons. This has happened sometimes over the history. Like the theme of the season is like this person versus this person. So it'll be like returning player versus returning player. And then on each of their tribes is a bunch of new people. And it usually does not go well for the returning player because like they're clear targets. But still, it's interesting. That would be crazy. Sue versus or like Survivor rivalries. And the tribe is just full of rivals. That would be so
I'm all
cool.
for it.
I want Sue and Kyle back just to be in the same team again.
Yeah.
He put my name there.
As much as I love Kyle, good dude, I think if I could choose like a limited amount of people from the previous season, Saul's got my vote. Gotta choose
Oh
Saul.
yeah. 1,000%. I love you, Saul.
You do remind me. We did this for season 47. So each of us picked somebody like a favorite of the season, and then collectively we picked our least favorite.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Our least favorite. Like, is there anyone else other than John? Like, maybe we have to adjust the rule because, like, I think we liked seeing him on screen, or maybe not. Did you hate seeing him on screen?
I mean, if you want to go by least memorable, my answer would be completely different. But dislike definitely John.
I think I agree because even though there are villains that you love to hate, on top of his villainous nature, John also said like some problematic 2003 style stuff. So
Yeah.
that increased the
He's
dislike.
a villain for sure.
So my real question is, who's going to be number 3 on this? Because normally I would let you guys pick, but I know you're going to say Rupert. That's the one person you love. You're probably going to say Sandra
Oh, yeah.
as another. But who's a third person? Or if you don't want to include Sandra, then you can give me 2 people.
I'll say Ryan Shoulders. Just to
Yes.
Just throw Ryan
I
Shoulders.
love
Why
it.
not?
Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
love that. Yes. If anybody can get anything out of this podcast, is that Ryan Shoulders is amazing and you guys all slept on him during that time, and I want him back for season 50. That's all I want.
And we would love to have puns like from people's names going every season.
Yes. I can't wait.
Fair
When in
enough.
Rome, right?
Yes.
But congrats, you've both made it through another season. Well done. Just
Yay.
in time for the next season, our journey, season 48. Tune in next week as we begin a whole new journey.
Yay.
Any final thoughts?
Looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's next, and I'm excited to see idols come back. I kind of miss those. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, 100%.
Never thought I'd hear those words from a Survivor fan. We need just miss those idols
I miss them.
and advantages.
Yes, come back.
It's been a give or take for me. One season's had them, the other season hasn't. I prefer one season to the other. They've both been good so far, but I think I'm a little biased in that sense right now.
We'll track Survivor F's ranking. So in your sample size of 2, what's the ranking so far?
47 definitely goes above 7, but 7's had really good, like it's had a lot of memorable moments, but I definitely like 47 more.
So far 47 and then 7. We'll work on our rankings because of course we have more. So we're probably what we care about is Survivor F's rankings anyway.
Yes.
But all right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening and get hyped. We're back to real-time Survivor. Until we speak again, ciao.